Hey everyone, and welcome back into another vinyasa practice. You don't need anything for this practice, just your mat, a space, and yourself. If you know that you do like to have some props to help you along the journey and you have those props handy, feel free to go get them. This practice is always your own, so make it that. Get yourself all of the things that you need and meet me here on your mat. We're going to get started today in a standing forward fold at the top of the mat. So feel free to take your feet about hips width distance, maybe even a little bit wider. Ground down in through the feet. I like to kind of flex my toes up and then peel them into the mat, really grounding down through all points. And then take a nice deep bend into the knees. Allow the arms and the upper body to hang really heavy. Allow the neck to hang loose. Almost like if you shake the hips, the head kind of shakes naturally with it. And just take a moment to arrive here in your space. Any variation of the arms is really welcome. I sometimes like to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand. Just adds a little bit more weight to really draw my spine down towards the earth. Kind of lengthen through that back side of the body. Feel free to bend into the knees, shake the torso, really drop in here. Take a moment to notice how your body feels, where your breath is into the body. Just checking in with yourself here. Allow the breath to start elongating, slightly deeper inhalations and slightly longer exhalations to start drawing you into your practice, into yourself. Using these first few moments of practice to really discern what you need today. Check in with yourself so that you can properly serve your body's needs, maybe your emotional and spiritual needs as well. Just allow the arms just to rest down onto the earth, so really let go here, let the upper body really hang. I'm going to take a nice deep bend into the knees and start rolling up through the spine on an inhalation, trying to segment every single part of your spine. You're curling up through the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. The head remains to hang heavy. As you arrive to stand, can you roll the shoulders up by the ears and down onto the back body as the head lifts? Feel really long here through the spine, crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Maybe the palms even spiral open towards the front, so you're really rolling those shoulders down onto the back body. Maybe your eyes flutter open, finding a gazing point somewhere out in front of you. Take an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, gather everything in. As you exhale, hands draw down through heart center. As you take a soft bend to the knees and fold over the legs once again. Take an inhale, halfway lift, come up onto the fingertips or on blocks or even hands onto the shins here. As you exhale, straighten the legs and fold. Remember, straight is always relative to you and your body. So if that means maintaining a soft bend into the knees, let it be that. As you inhale, take a deep bend into the knees so that your torso and upper thighs connect. And then inhale, roll up through the spine once again. When you arrive to stand, shoulders roll down the back body, chest and heart lifts, chin lifts. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, peel the hands down through heart center as you forward fold over once more. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend into the knees, roll up through the spine. Once you get there, unravel, arms reach up. And then exhale, hands pull down through heart center. Remain standing here. If you want to set an intention or a dedication to your practice today, now is your time to do so. On your next inhale, arms are going to reach up and overhead. You're going to step the left foot behind the right, so you're kind of crossing the feet over, grabbing the left wrist with the right fingers, and you're just going to take a nice side body stretch here, really leaning over towards the right, really pressing that left hip towards the left to get into that side body. Maybe your gaze comes up and underneath that armpit. Deep breaths here into that left rib cage, really getting expansive. Exhale, bring the arms up through center.
Maybe shimmy your feet a little bit close together, but keep the cross so your pinkies are kind of side by side here. And as you exhale, take a forward fold over the legs. Inhale, come up halfway onto the fingertips. Really pull through the chest and heart to get long through the spine. And exhale, fold over the legs once again. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, send the left toes to the back of the mat. You can shimmy out the feet so that they're more on train tracks here, and then lower down the back knee. Inhale, arms come up and over the head to your Hanumanasana. Really sinking that left hip forward as that right hip pulls back. And just getting some space here in your Hanumanasana. So you can really take any variation of the arms that you like, maybe grabbing that opposite elbow with opposite hand like you did in your forward fold. You can even take the right hand down by your side or onto a block and really peel over that right leg. Getting more into a side body stretch here. It's really your own. Wherever you are, tuck the back toes, arms can reach up and overhead. Keep the hips nice and low as you exhale, straighten through the back leg, lift the back knee, coming into your crescent lunge. Really keep the hips sinking down, right hip pulling in. Really sending that energy out through the back heel, sinking down into the hips, opening into that left hip flexor. Take an inhale here, get taller, sink the hips lower. As you exhale, hands come to frame that front foot. Step that left foot, that back foot in slightly, ground the back heel. Coming into your pyramid pose, inhale, halfway lift, get tall through the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, come up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, stay in that halfway lift, really wrapping that left hip back and in line. Maybe you float the left hand to your heart center. Maybe you float the right hand to heart center. And if you are feeling good here, maybe you take some pulses. Just slightly opening into that right hamstring. So quite an active pyramid pose here, but also encouraging a lot of opening with these pulses. Stay pulsing here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, take the hands down, fold over the leg. And then you're going to step that left foot in towards to meet the right, come back into that forward fold. Maybe notice that difference in your right and left sides. Take a pedal out through the legs, allow the upper body to hang really nice and heavy. Take a deep bend into the knees, inhale, roll up through the spine. Once you get there, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, cactus the arms, really ground into the feet, send the hips forward by engaging the glutes as the heart opens up. And exhale, hands to heart center. This time, right foot's going to cross behind the left. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Left hand is going to grab for the right wrist, and you're leaning over towards the left, sending the right hip over towards the right. Gaze can come up and underneath that right armpit. Getting space into that right side body, into all of those intercostal muscles and the ribs. Can each inhale get you longer, and each exhale sink you a little bit deeper. Inhale, bring the arms back to center. Maybe you draw the legs in towards each other, so pinky toes are to touch. And as you exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, get long through the spine, and exhale, fold down. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, send the right toes to the back of the mat, walk the feet out so that they're a little bit more stable. Drop down the back knee. Inhale, arms reach up, Hanumanasana. And again, using a couple of moments here just to really get into your body. I always kind of like to bend and straighten the knee, kind of move the hips around. Just moving really organically in your body, finding the little places that you need to bring some more awareness and breath to. Any sticky spots that just need a little bit of extra love, a bit more opening. And when you're ready, just sink down into it, wrapping that left hip back, sending that right hip flexor forward, really dropping the hips down, but maintaining the integrity in the pelvis here. So really tucking the pelvis under, drawing the navel up, so you have this kind of real integrated core happening here. So instead of really dumping straight into it, you're maintaining that length through the spine, and that'll just help you get into that right hip flexor a little bit deeper. Inhale, our arms are going to reach up and overhead as you tuck the back toes. As you exhale, keep the hips nice and low as you straighten through the back leg and lift the back knee. Crescent lunge. Feeling really strong into the legs here, sending that energy out through that back heel as you wrap everything into one line. Again, keeping that pelvis tucked under so you're really staying long through the spine and maintaining that integrity in the core. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Hop that back foot in slightly, turn it out on a 45-degree. Ground the back heel, pyramid pose. Take an inhale, halfway lift, get long. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up halfway. Get long through the spine here. So you're plugging that left hip into the socket. Got a slight anterior tilt of the tailbone here. So you're really peeling the sit bones back behind you. Maybe you float one hand to your heart center. Maybe you float the other hand to your heart center. And if this feels good, maybe you take some little mini pulses. And staying here for a count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1. Just take a fold over that front leg. Look forward to the front of the mat. Step that right foot in to meet the left. Take a nice deep bend into the knees here. Inhale, halfway lift, get long through the spine. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold down. Crown of the head really reaching towards your mat. Deep bend into the knees. Inhale, roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Once you get there, inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Send the hips forward, engage the glutes. Exhale, cactus the arms. Serve the heart up on a platter. Feel the elbows knocking forward, backs of the hands really heavy back behind you. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop the feet back into your plank pose. And then exhale, slow lower down into your chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, pulls you through into your upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, sends it back, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out through your feet, perhaps noticing a little bit more space than you usually would here in your downward facing dog. We've already moved quite a lot into the legs and into the hips and into the hamstrings. So just notice how it feels here to kind of have that solid grounding into the legs in your first downward facing dog. Take an inhale, come high up onto the toes, ripple forward, high plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, pulls you through, upward facing dog. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. One more time, just like that. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you get to your downward facing dog, inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, big circle sweep to step it to the outside of the right hand. Inhale, right hand reaches back, knee stays lifted, twisted low lunge. Get really grounded into the feet here so much that maybe your left hand starts to float. And then as you inhale, see if you can rise up, coming into your twisted crescent. You're really plugging the hips into that one line, dropping the hips down nice and low, peeling the chest and heart open. Big inhale is going to circle you around to ground that back heel into your warrior two. Really solid into the feet and into the legs. Take an inhale to get tall and exhale to sink.
Feel really steady and strong in your warrior two. Nice home base position. Inhale, straighten through the front leg, pivot all toes to face the left side of your mat. Take an inhale, hands can come onto the hips as you peel the chest and heart open, and then exhale, take a wide-legged forward fold. Hands can come down onto the mat. They can reach for the big toes, for the ankles, even interlaced back behind you and coming up and over your head. A little shoulder opening. Wherever you are, can you keep sending the weight forward into the balls of the feet? Really keeping the hips up and over the heels, spreading the sit bones wide back behind you as the crown of the head reaches towards your mat. Take an inhale, come up halfway onto the tips of the fingers. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, heels knock in, toes point out, deep bend into the knees here, coming into a goddess pose. But just take your time with it at first, maybe bringing the elbows to rest onto the knees. Taking some little sways side to side. Wherever you are, feel the knees really drawing apart here. So your elbows are into the legs to kind of encourage that pressing out. And then, with the elbows still onto the knees, see if you can press the knees into the elbows, elbows into the knees, so you're really activating here. Feel that activation, and then release it. Once more, press the elbows into the knees, knees into the elbows, get active, get strong, and then exhale, release it off. One more time, elbows into knees, knees into elbows, press, 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 press. And release it, really nice. Really draw the glutes in towards each other, come up into your goddess pose. Hands can be at heart center, arms can reach up and overhead, arms can even reach out in front of you, wherever kind of helps you to maintain long spine. So hips are really sinking down, shoulders are stacked on top of the hips, knees are drawing out. So that's where our activation comes in with our goddess. Stay here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really nice. Start to take a couple of sways side to side. You can always bring the hands down here if it helps you. I want you to stay grounded into the feet though. So kind of bending and straightening, almost like you would be sinking down into your Skandasana, but just stay lifted for now. Keeping the heels grounded into the mat. And then you're going to sink over towards the left knee, bending into the left knee, straightening into the right. Kind of like coming into a Skandasana here, but keep the feet grounded, both feet grounded. Really plug into all 4 corners of the feet. Really feel that activation in the glutes and in the hamstrings. Hands can stay onto the mat here, or you can lift them up into heart center. Really active Skandasana here, really pulling yourself down into the ground, keeping the feet grounded. And then exhale, sink down into a more passive Skandasana. So if the heels lift, that's okay. Just find a nice release here. Right toes can flex up towards the ceiling. But again, keep that left knee really drawing out, so really pulling the hips apart here. Inhale's going to pull you forward to the front of your mat. Plant the hands, step the right toes back. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Really nice. My legs are working. I hope yours are too. Inhale, reach the left toes up and back behind you, 3-legged dog. Exhale, big circle sweep to step it to the outside of the left hand. Keep the back heel lifted. Inhale, left hand reaches towards the sky, twisted low lunge. Ground down into the feet here. Get light into that bottom hand. Next inhale lifts you up. Twisted crescent lunge. Really peeling the chest open towards the left. Hands reaching forward and back. Sinking into the hips here. Next inhale, you're going to lower down that back heel as it spirals you open into your warrior two. Sink down into that front leg. Nice deep bend into the left knee. I'm kind of regretting doing some squats and deadlifts yesterday because my legs are really firing in this class. But stay here. Feel your body working for you. Notice the areas that are in effort, notice the areas that are in ease. Next, inhale, straightens through that front leg, pivot all toes to face the right side edge of your mat. Hands can come onto your hips. As you inhale, puff up into the chest, and then exhale, fold. Releasing into the hamstrings here, drawing the crown of the head to the mat. Spreading the sit bones back behind you, long through the spine. Heels turn in, toes face out. Inhale, come up straight away into your goddess pose. Hands to heart center, hands reach out in front of you, hands up and over the ears. Really sinking the hips down and low. Using the power of the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings, all working together to keep you stable, connected, and grounded. Stay here for 7, 6, driving the knees wide, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really nice, hands can come down. Start shifting the weight side to side. Just like you would be if you were moving into a skandasana, but keep all of the feet grounded. All of the feet, keep the feet grounded. Stay long through the spine here. Hands can be on the mat to help support you. And then go ahead, sink yourself to the back of the mat, really bending in towards that right knee. Left foot stays completely grounded, right heel stays grounded as well. Get long through the spine. Hands can be onto the mat, or you can bring them up into your heart center. Wherever you are, feel like your legs are what is drawing you down towards the mat. Drive the right knee nice and wide. Sink the hips low, long through the spine. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, keep breathing, 1. Exhale, sink down into a more passive squat. Passive skandasana, I should say. And skandasana is in itself quite an active pose, but kind of when you do something that's really intentionally active in a skandasana, you notice how much freedom you have in a variation more like this, where you can really kind of sink down, allow some opening to happen. Just breathe here. Enjoy this moment of relative ease compared to something more active like what we were doing before. Next inhale, you're going to pull yourself forward to the top of the mat. Hands frame that front left foot. Step it into your plank pose, and then exhale, lower down through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, draw that knee in towards the chest. Take a soft bend into the left knee, and you're going to spring yourself forward to step that right foot in between the hands. Get grounded into the feet, and inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Really nice. Feel how active your legs are here, how much work they've put in so far. Maybe how all of that work and activation kind of makes this crescent lunge feel maybe a little bit more stable than usual. As you exhale, take a soft bend into the back knee, double bent leg lunge. Draw the hands down through heart center as you start to lean over the front leg, and maybe you spring up into a crouching warrior 3. So the right knee is staying nice and bent. Keep the hips nice and square here. Hands can live at heart center. As you exhale, straighten through that bottom leg, traditional warrior 3. Deep bend into the right knee once again. You're going to draw that left knee up and in towards the chest. Keep this compression of the legs. You're really active in that right bottom leg here. Next inhale, you're going to rise up, one-legged Tadasana. Really nice work. Exhale, hands can be at heart center as you extend into that left leg. Listen closely. Inhale, you're going to circle around. We're going to come into a half moon. So if you want to take a nice big circle with that left leg, really keeping the leg nice and straight here as you circle it around, and come into your half moon. Find it for a moment. And then you can take a nice soft bend into that front knee and step the left foot back. Warrior two. Amazing work. Really solid and strong into the legs. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sink. Inhale, hands gonna plant either side of that front leg. Reach the right toes up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Step the foot over and behind you. Listen carefully. You're gonna sink the hips nice down and nice and low. Draw that left knee in so your feet are parallel with each other here. Almost like you would be going into a reverse tabletop. Inhale, bridge the hips up. Reach that right hand up and overhead. Flip dog. It's almost like a wild thing, but our feet are actually symmetrical here. Press down through the legs, use the glutes to really lift the hips. Spiral open to the chest here. And then exhale, lower the hips down. Left leg extends back out. And you step the right toes in line, come into your plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back downward facing dog. Really nice. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, left knee draws into the chest, soft bend into the right. Inhale, springs you forward, step it in between the hands. And you're lifting up, crescent lunge. Sink the hips down low. Take another inhale here. Exhale, right knee is going to bend and tap the floor. Hands come to heart center as you lean forward, crouching warrior. Keep square into the hips here, both hip pointers pointing down towards the earth. Take an inhale. Exhale, straighten through that bottom leg. Traditional warrior three. Soft bend into that left knee once again. Draw the right knee up and in towards the chest. So you're coming into this real nice crouch position. Really strong into the legs. Inhale, drive to stand. One-legged Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale, straighten through that front left leg. That top right leg, sorry. And we're coming into that half moon variation. So if you're taking it around, nice big circle, teasing with the balance here, feeling the stability of the legs. Find your half moon for a moment, tap it, and then soft bend into the left knee as you come into your warrior two. I kind of lost the balance for a little bit there, but that's okay. We have moments like that. And finding the balance is exactly that. It's those moments of instability that get us to the moments of stability. So appreciate the moments of instability just as much. Take an inhale in your warrior two, and then as you exhale, spiral the hands down to frame that front foot. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, step it over and behind you, sink the hips down. Draw the right toes in to meet the left. Come into this reverse tabletop position. Use the hips to drive yourself up into your flip dog. Left hand reaches up and over. See if you can really use it to kind of spiral the chest open towards the ceiling. And then exhale, you're closing everything off, re-extending that right leg, coming into a high plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, pulls you through upward facing dog. And exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. One more round each side, picking up the pace a little bit. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it in between the hands, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, soft bend into the back knee, draw the hands to heart center as you lean forward, crouching warrior. Exhale, drive the standing leg, traditional warrior. Soften into that front leg, draw the left knee in towards the chest. Drive to stand, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, extend through that left leg, straighten it. Inhale, opens you up into your half moon, find it. And then exhale, soft bend into the right knee to step you back into your warrior two. One inhale here. Exhale, sink. Next inhale, hands plant to frame that front foot. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it over and behind. Soften into the hips, draw that left knee in towards you. Inhale, press down through the feet, down through the hips, spiral open. Exhale, lower the hips down, re-extend the left leg. Come into your high plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Inhale, roll left toes, reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it in between the hands. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, soften into the back knee, hands pull to heart center. Inhale, lean forward, crouching warrior. Exhale, drive to stand, traditional warrior. Soften into the front, into the standing leg. Draw the right knee into the chest as you rise to stand, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, straighten through that top leg. Inhale, opens you up, half moon. Exhale, soften into the standing leg to sweep into your warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, sink. Inhale, hands plant, framing that front foot. Lift it up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, step it over and behind you. Draw the right knee in to meet the left. Inhale, bridge the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down, re-extend that right leg. High plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few breaths here in your downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it to the outside of the right hand, lower down the back knee. Lizard lunge. You can walk the hands out here if you want a little bit more space to really drop down and in. Keep long through the spine. Reconnecting with the breath. One more inhale. Exhale, straighten through the front leg, half splits. A nice release into that hamstring after all of the work that it's been doing for our practice today. Keep tilting the tailbone, spilling it forward, really getting long through the spine here. If you want to stay in your half splits, by all means, stay there. If you want a little bit more, you can start to kick into your full splits, sending the right heel forward, left toes back. Feel like the hips are really sinking down. Keep hugging the legs in towards one another so you really maintain those hip bones facing the front of the mat. Welcome to stay more lifted here, or you can fold over. Deep, long, connected breath. Next inhale lifts you up. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, slide the right foot in, rebend into that right knee just to come into that lunge. Plant the hands, step the foot back, high plank pose. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Really peel the chest and heart forward here. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, step it to the outside of the left hand. Lower down the back knee. You can walk the hands out if that feels good. One more inhale. And then exhale, sink the hips back, half split. Flexing through those left toes, spilling the pelvis forward, reaching through the crown of the head as you fold over the leg. And staying here, or starting to kick forward with that left heel, sending the right toes back behind you, sinking down into your full Hanumanasana. And something that has really helped me with my yoga practice is when I got told by someone that striving for symmetry sometimes requires us to be asymmetrical. It's about noticing what you kind of need side to side and knowing that that doesn't look the same. And being okay with things feeling different, things being different. Side to side, day to day, moment to moment. You can stay lifted here or you can fold down. Next inhale brings you upright. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, draw that left knee in, rebend into the left knee, plant the hands, step the foot back, high plank. Lower down through your final vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga. Inhale pulls you through upward facing dog. Maybe you linger in that upward facing dog for a moment, really allowing the hips to sink down and forward, allowing the shoulders to pull back as your chest pulls through. Maybe you lift the chin up a little bit more than you're used to. Just feel that opening in the front body. And then exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, draw that right knee up to your right tricep and then step that right heel down over towards the left wrist. Maybe it's more in line with your hip. We're going to be finding half pigeon pose, so get yourself set up for that here. So if you have a little bit more space, your shin might be more parallel with the front of your mat. If you are still kind of finding a bit of space into your hips, having that right ankle in closer towards your hips will just make this a lot more accessible, a lot less painful, and a lot safer. One of the first injuries that I ever had in yoga was a hip injury because I thought I had to immediately go into that 90-degree angle. And it wasn't the case. So find an area where you can feel sensation, but that you feel like you can be without it feeling painful. And then slowly as it starts to open up space, maybe not within the time frame of a class, but over a couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe you start to heel toe that heel forward, and finding that deeper sensation into the outer hip. And again here, same with our splits, you can stay more lifted or you can fold down.
Allow the breath to be long and deep. Allow all of your effort to kind of melt away, and for this to be a real moment of just balancing all of the work that we did. Next inhale lifts you up. Plant the hands out in front of you, tuck the back toes, and just send it back into a downward facing dog. If you like to have a moment to just kind of wriggle out the hips at all, go for it. But we're going to be moving over towards the other side. So inhale, left toes reach up and back behind you. Exhale, left knee to left tricep, and then left ankle over towards the right wrist. Again, going to your line of tension that works for you. Trusting your asymmetries. Your body is very intuitive. It knows the difference between sensation and pain. Sometimes you just need to listen to it a little bit deeper. So if anything ever feels painful, trust your body's intuition. Know to just kind of back out or take a moment of rest. And the more in tune with your body you get, the more you kind of start to really recognize the difference between an uncomfortable sensation and finding that edge and pain.
So especially if yoga is quite new to you, just being a bit kinder and more gentle with yourself in these first moments as you learn how to kind of listen and understand your body's signals. So find your position that feels like there is sensation there, but it's not painful. And then sink down into it. If you want to stay upright or if you want to fold down. And cue that I really love in this half pigeon pose is to think of my belly button drawing to the front of my mat. For some reason, the idea of my belly button pulling forward really kind of lifts me up and out and kind of gives me a really nice sensation into my hips. More so than if I was to just think of my chest pulling forward. For some reason, having it originate from my belly button kind of gives me that lift and pull that really drops me into a sensation that I really enjoy in my body. Maybe you find it too. Nice long deep breaths here in this half pigeon pose. Allow your next inhale to walk your hands up so that you come more upright. Tuck the back toe, step the left foot into your downward facing dog, again taking any little shimmies or shakes of the hips that you need to find balance. You're just going to walk your feet to the top of the mat and just cross the legs and take a seat. So got a couple of options here. You can just come into an easy Sukhasana, right shin in front of left. You can come into a double pigeon, maybe taking the right ankle on top of the left knee and allowing the shins to stack. It's a bit of a hip opening if you want a little bit more hip opening. Or you've also got your lotus, your Padmasana. So just finding whichever comfortable seat you would like. I'm just going to take a Sukhasana, right shin in front of left. And just stay upright here for a moment. I'm going to drop into a couple of rounds of breathing. So take an inhale and then exhale to clear everything out. Next inhale, inhaling for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to your natural breath. And then go ahead, release your legs And you're just going to switch sides. So I'm just going to cross my left shin in front of my right. You can come into that full pigeon pose or your lotus pose. Again, find that long spine, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Take an inhale to prepare, and an exhale to clear. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Deep inhale. Long exhale. Feel free to find your Shavasana, rolling down onto your back, allowing the legs to go out wide, the arms to come out wide, allowing this moment of complete ease, of complete letting go, of complete relaxation. Otherwise, if you find yourself really centered, upright, and want to move into maybe a meditation, feel free to do so. But here is where I leave you today. Thank you so much for flowing with me, for moving with me, for inviting me into your home. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.